Hey guys, what's up? This is Jordan Crook with TechCrunch, and today I'm sitting with the founder of Plukka, Joanne. Thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, so why don't you tell us what Plukka is all about for those of us who aren't in the know?
Plukka is a fine jewelry e-commerce site which sells fine designer jewelry at savings of 80% off through a patented social shopping process which incorporates just-in-time manufacturing and a group buying element.
Okay, patented social process, group buying, manufacturing just in time. What does that mean to the end user? Those are a lot of big words that you threw out.
It means that we don't make anything on the site unless enough people want to buy it and we meet the manufacturing minimum order quantity. And it also means that prices fall in real time as more people buy an item before the deadline of a sales event.
All right, so it is very similar to group buying, but jewelry, right? So why jewelry, and how does the manufacturing part kind of differentiate you from other group buying sites?
Well, actually, the site is wildly different from the typical group buying site because we are not reliant on overstock or excess inventory, which is basically that's the meat and potatoes of group buying. And instead, we entirely sidestep that inefficiency in the buying process, which led to the excess overstock situation in the first place at the retailer by manufacturing the products ourselves like a world-class brand. So it's not ever the sweater with 3 arms. That's a very extreme case, but you get my point. That
right.
Group buying is frequently selling stuff like, nail art for dogs.
Right.
At 80% off. So we're not in the position, we're never stuck, we're never trying to move inventory that we're stuck with. We're trying to design best quality merchandise and make the most creative, innovative products out there in the world.
So I know that you have a pretty long and varied history. You've done a lot of different things before Plukka. I want to know how that affected this end result and kind of shaped the way that Plukka is working now.
Well, also, Jordan, I want to go a little bit back and talk about why we did this in fine jewelry.
Okay.
Fine jewelry has basically very small opening minimums, and because we have a real industry veteran as a core team member, we are actually able to now conduct the events with a minimum order quantity, mostly of 1. So it's also, that's a very important point. I wanted to address that because I think that the model can exist before we're at a large scale, which I think is crucial, of course, to the viability of a startup. But it was also a category in which there are gigantic margins of which the consumer is totally unaware. It's a very opaque area, and the markup of a designer ring is typically, let me just give you an example. A ring which costs $975 at, like, let's say a Tiffany or a David Yurman would cost something like $35 to manufacture. There's a huge amount of money left on the table that allows us to make a good margin, but at the same time give the consumer gigantic savings. Now, to answer your question about my career, I was formerly the creative director of Shanghai Tang, which is the luxury brand owned by the Richemont Group. Basically considered the first luxury brand to ever emerge from China. I turned around that brand in 2005. And then I became an environmentalist and established an NGO to combat air pollution in Hong Kong because it was the city's biggest problem. So basically, I mean, whatever I've been doing, I'm a marketeer, and that is going to contribute enormously to our ability to create a world-class jewelry brand.
So we only have about a minute left, so I think that my most important question right now is, this model is very interesting and unique. I think that we'll see more of it, and I'm sure that there's some stuff that's similar to it out there right now. My question to you is, how is this going to shape traditional retail and the way that people are buying things in the coming years as it picks up some steam?
I think that the consumer is obviously becoming increasingly involved and participating in the process. Look at Threadless. Look at a terrible example is like Zazzle or Cafe Press. And what the key is going to be, there's going to be increased democratization of the design process, but filtering is going to be even more important, actually. Creation of a true brand which can become a reliable go-to destination for a product category is going to become key to future success because of the onslaught of choice and information. So that's where we're going to be going with this type of paradigm shift in the future.
Well, this is all really interesting, Joanne. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out.
It's my pleasure again.
And that is going to be it for Plukka.